I'm Patrick Frank from DentsplySirona. It's a dental business, world leader. And why am I here? Because personally already I have a big interest in innovation, because for me, also outside work, I always think about ideas, like probably products, how to improve them, how to innovate further. And so this personal interest somewhat make me also become like a product manager. So now at Dentsply I'm a global senior product manager, where I'm launching a couple of products worldwide, downstream and upstream. And I realized that innovation is not very holistically approached. So for me now, I thought okay, I need to understand and learn more about innovation. And that's why I took this initiative to come here to get new insights from like-minded people, and to somewhat bring that back in the organization to really push innovation further. So, I mean, at DentsplySirona, there's no innovation management role per se. It's within the product managers, and particularly me, because I feel there's a vacuum. Basically, organizational-wise, it's not very much strategically approached. That I now take that innovation cup and say, well, I push that further. I'm working on a new project. It's going to be a new medical device, but it's a kind of completely new from scratch. So I want to really start it in a good way, and that's why I'm here to learn the right tools, connect with like-minded people, so then I also can reach out to them and say, well, I have an issue. I don't know exactly how to continue, and that's why I think this is a good forum, and then to get more professional on the innovation side as side function of the global product manager role. The skills or the main capabilities, I think you need to be curious, you need to be very, let's say, open-minded, you need to be open for different, let's say, also industries, not only your own industry, because then you could get really into this tunnel view, but really also looking into other industries. I'm coming from construction, from Caterpillar. It's very much different than, let's say, healthcare or dental. But I already can apply a couple of things I learned there to the dental business. And I think it's important really to get this outside knowledge. Otherwise, I think, it is in my opinion, you cannot really think out of the box. But by that I mean think out of the box, but then coming back into the organization and think then rather inside the box. So really make use or keep the capabilities of an organization in your mind and enrich this with what you learned, but always consider the traction, because if you, let's say, innovate on the green field and you came up with the greatest ideas, but you cannot, or your organization, the structure or the know-how cannot support that, then you waste the time. That's why it's good to really keep everything in mind, what's going on outside, but then take it really inside the box, and then try to really get into a kind of closer framework in which you then try to innovate. The major issues, I think, for me is a certain innovation vacuum at corporation level, because there is no, let's say, no clear vision communicated, and I think innovation needs to tie it to something. So I'm somewhat on my own, I believe. I try to the most I can do, but I believe it needs to have some top management leadership buy-in. If it doesn't come from the top, then you don't go anywhere, because you have to have a corporate vision, you have to have a mission where you want to be in the next 5 to 10 years. Of course, button up is also important. That's what I'm doing. But it's to magic. It's not a one-way street. So we need to get the top level one. And I'm reaching out, but for the time being, it's still challenging. And if I would ask colleagues probably about where we want to go, what's our mission, vision, maybe it would be 50-50. Some would know, some don't. So I think there's a lot of leadership initiative to be taken. In general, I think innovation probably will stay very, very fussy. There are many different, let's say, tools you can use, a lot of opinions about how to approach things, many methods. You learned about the business canvas, but also a new model, or the 5C model coming up. Or it's kind of always on the move. And I think the most important thing is that whatever you take that tool, whatever fits to you personally, so to myself, and to your innovation culture. And that's kind of a constant flow, because culture also then needs to adapt. But I think the most important thing is to stay agile. You really have low hierarchies, an agile setup, so that basically can really easily try out things. And I think it's important also to take failure as something positive. Just to try things out. Okay, it's crap, it didn't work. I try again. I need a budget for that, and I need to really that overall buy in again, saying, well, I have that amount, I'll try these and these things, and then I'm fully okay if it fails, but at least I take the lessons learned and start again. So this iteration, this flexibility and agility, I think this is like the major success for the future. My advice, I think the most important thing is basically already before you start with the company, ask in the interview what's their values, what's their mission, and particularly how do they go about innovation. And if the basically your opponent or like the person you have the interview with, there's a huge blank, you might want to be careful and consider yourself maybe it's not the right company to be very innovative, because innovative companies, they have a certain structure in place. Not saying it should be perfect, but at least check in the interview like a little bit like what they're doing to get the feel and if it's a fit, because in the end you bring in a lot of know-how and knowledge to the company, but the company also needs to provide you something with, like, not that you come and there's nothing and you waste your time and the resources and the energy and you go somewhere else basically. And so I think ISPIM is a great, let's say, setup of, as you said, like bringing together practitioners as well as research and professors to make things happen. For me personally, what I'm looking for is like a lot of lessons learned and having like conversation also with like-minded people, like innovation managers. I think here ISPIM can do a little bit more, like bring a little more people in from the industry, so that also like on this side, you know, there's a lot of interaction coming up, because I think like I would probably say it's the personally feel like it's the first time me being at the ISPIM. Probably 70% is research and 30% is industry and practitioners. So I think maybe 60-40, something like that. That would also help like to have also like people like me profit more. Not saying that I profited it, not that I didn't profit. I did profit a lot so far, and we still have one more day to go. But the interaction with colleagues I meet here or like other people, this is really, really insightful, and it inspires me, you know, to try new things out. I learned about new tools, so I think that's perfect setup ISPIM, and I don't know any other conference which provides that, you know, like opportunity to do that. My favorite thing is the inclusiveness, basically the inclusion, like being almost like friends, you know, like we have like, we're singing in lectures, we're going out, we're having a great gala dinner tonight with a kind of a social event, I don't know what it is, but I think it's a band, and the band is kind of consisting, you know, of the guys actually giving speeches here, so I think that's family feel. I think that's the most important thing for ISPIM, that it's basically not, that you don't feel anonymous, that you really feel like included in a big innovation family.